Hello guys, this is Anthony, and today I wanted to show you guys how to create a virtual machine in Windows Server Hypervisor. You can also get Hypervisor for Windows Professional, Windows 10 Professional as well. So basically Hyper-V, but I'm just going to get right into it. It's pretty simple actually. You just got to make sure you have enough resources on your computer that you'll be able to run the virtual machine. So let's just get right into it. So first, you go over to the right where it's Actions. You hit New Virtual Machine, and then Next. You type the name of the virtual machine. So this will be YouTube, just cause. I have this problem. You can store it in a different location. Automatically, it has a automatically assigned folder that it'll store it in. The folder I had it be assigned in got deleted, so it always keeps asking me about switching it. So I'm just going to store it right there. Next, Generation 1, Generation 2. You're probably not going to really, if you're just doing one or two virtual machines and you're just going to be using it as basic computer, not going to be doing a lot of server stuff, just leave it as default, really. You can do whatever one you want. If you are more advanced, you might want Generation 2, but if you're just beginning this, Generation 1 should be fine. Startup memory. So this will be the RAM of the system. The server this is running on has 44 gigabytes of RAM, which is plenty to run quite a few virtual machines. I'm just going to put 4 gigabytes of it. You can also do dynamic memory. That'll if it needs more RAM, it'll get more basically, or if it uses less, that type of stuff. Next, also I'll get into this in a second, but you want to make sure to connect it to your virtual switch. You probably don't have one yet, so I'll just get into that in a second. Right now, I already created one, so I'm just going to connect it to that. This is where you can rename the virtual hard drive that is the virtual machine's running off of. So if I wanted it like YouTube 11, basically, whatever name you want, this is where you can also change the size of the hard drive. I'm just going to give it 20. I don't have a ton of storage. That should be enough for basic stuff. You can also add virtual existing hard drives or add one later if need be. Okay, next, you can also install an operating system right now, whether it's a CD that you put in your computer CD drive or it's an ISO file. I have a very large library of ISO files, but I'm just gonna click to add it later, and I'll get into that in another video. Okay, so now we just gotta hit finish, and it'll create a virtual machine. As you can see, it's right here. Now, if you right-click this, you can connect to it. Well, you don't need to do that yet. You can also start it, you can move it, export it, create a checkpoint, enable replication. That's more advanced. You can also delete it if you'd like, rename it, all the general stuff. Right now, we're going to be going into settings, and right here, as you can see, this is the memory. If you were going to add dynamic memory, then we can have it use all the memory if we'd like, or it can use 512 megabytes. Okay, so as far as the processor goes, right now it only has one virtual processor. This server that I'm running it on has 8 cores, two Xeon processors, each that has 4 cores, so a total of 8 cores. Now, what I used to think is that each virtual machine was almost devoted to that core. You couldn't run 2 virtual machines on 1 core. That was wrong, though, and I eventually learned. So basically, I could have all 8 of my processors be running from this on this virtual machine. It could use all 8 processors. I could also have another one that is using all 8 of the processors. Because they're not using 100% of it, they're just using what they need. So if they are not using anything and then you have another one that's using like a lot, it will be okay. I'm just going to leave 4 in this one for now. This is also where you can add another hard drive. If you'd like, you can add another hard drive or DVD drive to the machine. This is where you can add the image file if you get it later on. I don't have any that can access that this moment, but this is where you would add it. This is right, like I was saying, this is where you're going to be adding your virtual switch that you would create. So this is right here where you can have multiple little virtual switches, and you can pick which one you'd like. These are the two serial ports, virtual serial ports you can have. So you can have the machine talk to the outside world. And that's mostly it. I'm pretty sure you're not going to have a virtual floppy drive file. So now that we've gone into the settings, let me show you how to create a virtual switch. So right here, you go to Virtual Switch Manager and let it load. And then you can pick which type of switch would you like. An external, where it can talk to the internet and talk to everything. An internal, so that could only talk to the computers on your network. So your 192 or 10.10 or whatever. It can only talk to those computers that are on your local network. And then private, only the virtual machines running on this physical computer they can talk to each other, but they can't talk to any of the other computers on your network. So we're going to create an external one. That's what I'm assuming most people here are going to be doing. So you click on that, create switch, name the switch whatever you like. So YouTube 2, and you can add notes, and then you pick which port would you like it to use. I have 2 cards. I have the onboard card with two Ethernet ports, and then I also have an external 1 gigabit, PCI Express card that's also 1 gigabit. So you can pick which one you'd like. I'm just gonna pick one of these random ones I have because I've already done this. So now all you have to do is, again, you can click right here if you'd want it to be different. So you just click apply, okay, and then it'll show right up here. I'm not going to do that, but for you, it'll show like right here. It'll show the port it's connected to and the name of it. And then we go right back into the machine settings, and then we go back into network adapter, and this would be where you pick what switch you're using. So if you had like dog 10 or whatever, then for the name, then you pick that, or new virtual switch, or whatever you want. Okay, so that was a quick little video of how to create a virtual machine. I'll get into step 2 of how to actually, you might not have Hyper-V on your computer or server. I can show you, I'll going to be creating a video of how to do that as well. So that's about it for me today. See you guys later.